Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and it's not fall yet, but it is fall in my soul. I love fall. It's my favorite time of the year. I hate this. I'm from the south and I hate the heat. Like, I don't mind it hot, but when it's too hot, like if it's over 80 degrees, I'm done. I don't like it. And I don't really like the winter either. So if it's like cooler than 50 degrees, I don't like it. So I love fall. Love fall. I love Halloween. So today I thought I would share with you some of my favorite palettes to pull out during the fall season. They're not in any particular order, they're just some of my favorites to pull out. And yeah. So starting with the one that I have on my eyes today, it is the Urban Decay Born to Run. This just screams fall to me. I really do love the warmer tones and the oranges, but also like the cooler purple and green tones. I'm wearing the shade Hell Ride, Guilt Trip, Drift, and Still Shot on my eyes today, and then I do have Jet in my lash line. This is actually, I'm wearing Wildheart too on the outer corner. But this is such a really, really nice palette for fall, and I just love it. And so it's going to be in my fall palette basket to use over the next few months. I do fall until about mid-November, till right after Halloween. Right after Thanksgiving is what I consider fall. Anything after Thanksgiving, I consider it winter. So from now, really, it was actually like last week, but from now to after Thanksgiving, these are going to be the palettes that are in my rotation to use, just kind of in conjunction with my Project Pan palettes, just to use for the fall season. Okay, the next palette that we have is the Urban Decay Naked Heat. This one is really nice because it has these warm toned reds versus a berry red. These oranges, these deep like orangey browns. I really love these color stories during fall. So yeah, this is another one that I will have in my rotation. This shade right here, Lumber, is so pretty. Like, such a stunning coppery orange red tone. So yeah, this one is definitely going to be in my fall palette rotation. Another palette that I actually love to pull out during the fall season, and sometimes during summer as well, depending on the eye look that I'm trying to go for, is the Morphe 3503. This is, I believe, is the Lipstick Nick palette. She's the one that created this one. She's a makeup artist through Morphe. And this is what it looks like. Again, it does have all these warmer pinks and oranges and reds, and like this row right here, like right in the direct center, kind of, and then like these two greens, those kind of scream summer to me a little bit, but everything else I think fall. I have created like I've only used this like maybe twice, but I've used it, and everything I've created has really been this deeper berry tone. But it's a really, really, really nice palette. Morphe, while it is controversial, I do think that they have some really good eyeshadow formulas. Not the best, but they have some really good formulas, and I love these bigger palettes because I get more inspiration from these bigger palettes versus smaller palettes. So yeah, this one is going to be in my fall basket as well. Pulling out a tiny palette, and I've had this one for maybe a few months, but I actually do really enjoy it, and it just kind of screams fall. Like, it just, I don't know, it's not those orangey colors that I kind of like reach for, but it is the more deeper green, like foresty greens with these like hints of copper. This is the Wet n Wild Lucky Charm palette, I think. I'm not sure I pulled the name off of it, but this one is like super pretty. It's got it's a 5-pan palette. I want to say this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold Mini. But it really is just a beautiful 5-pan palette. Another one that just screams fall, and it's honestly just in the name, and is the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy. I didn't get the original gingerbread. For some reason that one didn't strike my interest, but this one really did. And again, it is those warm toned reds, the coppers, the golds, with some of those deeper pink berries. And I just love this. It smells like cookies. It's really nice. So yeah, another one I actually pull out kind of all year round, but I think I'm going to pull it out. I'm really excited to pull it out just for the fall season, and it is the Tati Textured Neutrals Volume 1. When I think of fall, again, I think of those warm toned colors, and this row right here just makes me think of dead leaves, like leaves falling on the ground, jumping in a pile of leaves. Like these, like 12 right here in this direct center are so beautiful. And I'm not big on a glitter, except for like in the winter time. I really love glitter more like in New Year's, like that time frame. But her pressed glitters are so nice. They're actually, the best way to explain it is they're buttery, because they don't require a glitter glue. They don't have any fallout. Excuse me. They last all day on the eye, and they are just so stunning. This matte black is probably the mattest black I've ever used in my 29 years of existence. This black is everything, and I use it all the time if I'm using a shadow, like a black shadow, to do my waterline. It doesn't look like it, but these pans are deep, so this is a really good black as well. And then even these purples right here in this far corner are super nice. They all blend well. They're not patchy. They're immaculate. They really are. This is some of the best eyeshadows I have in my collection. So this is another one that I'll be pulling off for fall. Another one that I really like to use, and I've only used this a couple of times, and I've literally created the exact same look using this every time that I use it, and it is the Melt Cosmetics Impulsive palette. When I use this, I typically stick to this half of the palette, and I create the exact same look every time I do it. It's something that I did. It's more of a orange red tone grungy eye look. I loved how I did it, and I actually just ended up repeating it. It was a beautiful look. And I'll pop it up in the corner so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This whole side of the palette, it's almost all matte. You have two shimmers right here, but it's pretty much all matte. I love this palette. Like, I really do. I didn't buy this full price. I bought this, I want to say I bought this off from Mercari about a year or so ago. And then everything on this side is all shimmer. They're beautiful shimmers. I just don't really reach for this side as much as I reach for this side. So this side is the one I'm really talking about when I think of fall. This kind of screams a little bit more winter to me, so maybe I'll pull this one out in the winter as well. Another palette I like to pull out during fall, strictly for work, because I don't really do bold or crazy eye looks during work while I'm working, because I work for the government, or I have a government office job right now. It is the Morphe 15D Day Slayer palette. It is these orangey, like, nudes. I love pulling this out during fall time just to wear for work, because it is neutral, while it also gives me a hint of warmth that I can wear during the fall season. And it's really pretty. Like, just look at some of these metallics. They are just beautiful. Some of these two right here didn't swatch the best. I'm going to blame that on my actual swatch versus the shadow. But they are just super pretty. So again, this is one I'm super excited to pull out for an like basic everyday neutral eye for work during the fall season. Another one I'm excited to pull out is this 5-pan Pat McGrath I Ecstasy Sublime palette. I bought this when it was half off. I believe these are no longer available on the Sephora website. They may be on the Pat McGrath, I'm not sure. But this one is the gold, bronze, like coppery shades. And this is super pretty. I love this gold right here. I believe this is called Sinful. Yeah, I think it's Sinful. Not sure. But this shade is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful gold. As well as this brown, this copper, orangey color. Like, these are all just great eye toppers. Or if you're just looking for a palette to use with something else, this is a great companion palette if you have an all matte palette. It's more of the warmer tones as well. So I'm excited to pull this out and play with it during the fall season. So I have 3 more palettes in front of me, and one of them is actually my all-time favorite to pull out during fall. It's really just my all-time favorite palette almost in my whole collection. I really do love it. I'm going to talk about that one last. So this one is relatively new. I bought this at Marshall. No, I did not. I didn't buy this one at Marshall. I bought this one from Ulta recently, and it was in my most recent Ulta haul. I will link that up in the cards as well if you missed that one. And it is the Makeup Revolution Roxasaurus Ride or Die palette. I did end up buying this like whole collection recently. And I really just, this reminds me of the original Gingerbread palette, which is why I didn't buy the Gingerbread palette initially, because at the time this color story did not speak to me. But over the last few years, this has really kind of been something I've been excited to use. I haven't used this one yet at all, so I'm super excited to pull this out during the fall season. I actually think I might wear this tomorrow to work. But this green down here, Draco, I'm so excited to use this one because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'm a Slytherin, so Draco Malfoy is like my main man. I love Draco Malfoy. Tom Felton, what's up? So yeah, I'm super excited to use some of these shades and kind of get some use on this over the next few months during the season, and I will give you guys maybe an update later on what my thoughts are. This one of the last palettes, not the last one, but the second to last palette that I like to pull out during fall, I got last year. My best friend had bought it for me, and it is the Alter Ego Artemis palette. I really wanted the Natasha Denona Metropolis, however, I could not justify $130. I couldn't do it. The only time I've ever paid full price for a Natasha Denona palette is the $65 price. I've never bought, I own 2 of them, but I've never spent the $130 for one of her palettes. I've always spent way less. So I was actually super excited to get this one. It is just a dupe to the Metropolis. I've used this one time. This shade right here down at the bottom, Stealth, I found this to be really patchy, but I might play with it a little bit more. Maybe I was just using the wrong brush. Maybe I need to use my finger. But this palette is just stunning. And all the reviews that I've seen, it's a really good dupe for the Metropolis palette. I believe this is only like $26. I will link all the prices for all the palettes that I have as well. But, so yeah, super excited to pull this one out. I really want to kind of focus on some of these coppery tones over the next season, in the next few months. This shade right here, Silent, it's a army green. I really love this. Super pretty. So yeah, the last palette is my favorite palette, probably in my top 10 of my collection. I really do love this eyeshadow palette, and if you saw my ABH ranking palette, then you could know exactly which palette this is, and it is the ABH Subculture. This is my favorite ABH palette. I love this palette. This palette I will use all year round, but it screams, the color story is just fall to me. And here is what it looks like. This shade right here, Electric, you can pretty much put over any shade in the palette, and it is obviously, it's going to look completely different over every shade. It is gorgeous. As well as this Cube shade. I really do love this. This Untamed one can be a little bit patchy as well as rowdy. So go in with a light hand and obviously work around that instead of going in. They are super pigmented, they are super dusty, but that's fine, that's just normal ABH quality. I love this. I will probably use this at least once a week over the next few months. I love this palette and I'm super, super excited. I don't think this one can be bought anymore, maybe on the ABH website, but super excited to be able to play with this some more during the fall time and the winter and the spring and the summer, pretty much all year round. But I'm super excited to pull this out for fall because of the grungier tones that I like to do during that season and the grungier looks. So yeah. And that is going to be it for today's video. Please let me know down in the comments below what your favorite palette or favorite palettes you like to pull out during the fall season, or what your favorite color story during the season is. If you like today's video, just give me a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments anything I can do better. Still working with some of the lighting, so some of my videos may be weirdly lit. Working on it. If you have any tips, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy today's video. If you'd like to see some more of me. I do a lot of project panning with some hints of like palette stuff. I am working right now on a huge declutter and collection series. And then just kind of winging it, you know. I do a lot of winging it on this channel. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!